The pro-life thing is about educating our kids. It's about improving our society. It's about reality and authenticity. It's about breaking out of the facade that the abortion industry tries to create to say that these heartbeats and these fingernails and these little smiles and these 7-week-old babies that are actually dancing in the womb, that they don't exist. You can't put a face on it. And that dehumanizes everything, dehumanizes us.
I think if Jesus was here today, he wouldn't just donate money to the center, he would probably work in the center. I really believe that. You look at his ministry, he was always with those that didn't have much voice, and there is no greater silent voice than the baby in the womb. So I really see Jesus as a person who would model serving in that ministry.
I think that if Jesus were to walk through Santa Clarita right now, and in today's day and age, I think he'd walk right past the big mega churches. I think he'd walk right past most other churches in town. I think he'd walk right past the people that give a ton in this valley. And I think he'd walk right into a place like the Santa Clarita Valley Pregnancy Center. I really do. I think he'd put his arms around those moms. I think he'd scoop up some of those babies. And I think he would say, this is what I want you guys to do. I want you as a church to love these parents, love these moms, love these kids like I love them.
I think I've always realized that the only way you could take a woman who was seriously looking at abortion and change her mind generally was to let her know that you genuinely cared about her and her baby. That it wasn't just about, we're going to save this baby no matter what, and once that's done, you're on your own. It was always a sense at the center that we cared as much or more for the mother as we did the baby. And we wanted to help both of them. And that in helping both of them, we would be the best help to the mother.
I can only speak from holding my own children. When I hold my child, I've got 4 of my own kids, and holding my kids, I go, I'm looking at such potential. I'm looking at a life unlived yet. For me, I don't know how to go, that life doesn't need to live. Again, it's something that's been ingrained in me since I was a little kid. I hold that child and I think the potential, all that could be.
I spoke at Biola a few years ago. I got invited to go down and present some ideas in a class on this whole issue of abortion. And as a pastor of a church who was involved in supporting a crisis pregnancy center, why we did that. And someone said, why is this issue so different? Why is this issue so important? And to me, it always comes back to the same thing, because this is an issue of human life. There are just not that many places where literally our ministry can have a life and death difference.
As Christians, we're ambassadors and agents of God's grace and restoration. And that's what we're about. We're about restoring things. And we live in a world that's fallen, and people have committed all types of sins. Everybody's a sinner. And so a person that comes with a sin like this, that feels that they can't be forgiven, they need to hear that there's grace with God, that all things are forgivable with Christ. And so a ministry like this is not only pro-life generically, but it's also bringing restoration and grace to the world.
Best way to describe it would be that place of safety, that someone feels that it's a safe place, that I can I really talk about this here? Are you going to condemn me because of the feelings, the emotions that are rushing through me because of my own fears, because of what my parents are going to think, my boyfriend, my girl, whatever those things are that are driving them to even consider abortion? The fact that it's safe for them to come to you as a client now, that it's safe to come to you and say, I have these feelings, but you're not condemning me. You're allowing me to process those feelings with you, I think speaks huge.
I would encourage everybody that comes around this ministry to do 2 things. One is, first and foremost, support it financially. The center operates based on the ability to raise funds and to meet the needs. So first and foremost, you know what, it's time to write a check. Secondly is get committed to the cause. Get involved, because I think Jesus would not just write a check, he would do something too. He would serve in some capacity.
We're doing something proactive about life, about the image of God. It's not really about what we're against, that we are for life. And I really like to be known for what I'm for.
the ability to touch lives, the ability to save lives, the ability to get the job done.
This is important. This is something that's alive. It's a gift from God, and we need to make sure and support it in that way.
We're supposed to be defenders of the weak. We're supposed to be those who stand up for those that have no voices. And there's probably nobody more voiceless and weak than the unborn in our society.
When you support the pregnancy center, you're putting money into the ministry. You're putting money into a mom's life, into hopefully a baby's life.
Every time this ministry succeeds in helping a young woman, it succeeds in saving a life.